Hey everybody, this is Rick from Inside MusiCast, and we're here at the Jazz Kitchen in Indianapolis. And tonight, Simon Phillips and his band are here in support of their Protocol 2 album. And of course, with me is Simon Phillips.
Hello.
We've got Steve Weingart here.
Hello.
And this is the final stop, right, on this leg of the tour for the okay. Yep. But you've also toured in Europe as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pretty extensively, right?
Yeah, we did the first tour with this band and Protocol 2, the CD, we did 22 shows in Europe last year, November, I think it was. We had a great time. We had a wonderful run of shows, and it was fantastic.
And you've also done another leg of this tour here in the States as well, right?
We, actually, just as soon as we got into the new year, we played Boston, Scholars, and then we did 4 nights at the Iridium in New York City.
So how's the reaction been? I mean, I'm not really comparing between the States and Europe. We know the fans that have a different sort of taste from music in Europe than they do here. But are you? Did you find that people were really receptive to this new album and good crowd reaction at the shows?
Yeah, everybody loves the band. Everybody loves the album. The difference is that in Europe, I've toured there with my own band, for since the late '90s. So people kind of know what to expect. Even if they don't know this band, they'll come to the show because they know what it is. This is really the first time I've toured in the States as a solo artist or anything like that. So I guess people don't really quite know what to expect. And so it's kind of a building up tour. It's kind of like a getting our feet wet tour. But everybody that comes to the show just loves the band.
Well, we're certainly glad you've come to Indianapolis, Oh, thank you. And this is the last show again, right?
This is the last, yeah. And I'm not sure we'll be able to do any more shows in the U.S. this year. I don't think so, just the way that the schedule is going. But
one of the hottest commodities out there that Eddie's behind the camera, by the way, Eddie. People ask us all the time. It's like they send us messages and they ask, where can we get Simon's CD, the physical copy of the CD? And it's like, well, I know you've got it out there on Amazon and you can download it on, I think, iTunes and places like that. Yeah. But you can only pick up that CD here at the shows. Is that correct?
Shows, yeah, it is, yeah. It's just basically I'm very protective of it. If I do a licensing deal, I want it to be a really good one. And it started off basically, we just started selling it at the shows, and it seemed very exclusive, and people, I don't know, was very responsive to that. I've just done a licensing deal in Japan. We're going to go there in May, the end of May, and play a few shows there. And I'm right in the middle of negotiations for a deal in Europe. And they'll probably release a vinyl version of it too. For the US, it's tricky. It's tricky finding the right kind of record company that, frankly, I think we could do better on our own. So we'll probably start retail selling it, mail order or something like that.
I've got 4 orders. I got to pick up 4 CDs tonight because I've got friends in Europe and around the States that want CDs, so I'll be picking up 4 of them.
Cool, fantastic.
Hey, tell me a little bit about your band. You've got Andy Timmons on guitar.
Andy Timmons, yeah. He's I met Andy way back, 1993. We did the NAMM show together because he's a Ibanez endorser and I'm a Tama, so that's how I met him. And when I put my first band together in '97, I asked Andy. And luckily he said yes, and we went out on the road. And we had a great time, and it's my first choice.
Yeah, and you got Ernest Tibbs on bass. Tell me how you guys hooked up.
Now Ernest and we played together at a kind of little gig in Sherman Oaks, probably Cafe Cordial or something like that. And I called him to do a tour. I think it was a Japanese tour. Yeah, it was a Japanese tour. Way back, like 2007 or 2008 or something, but he wasn't available. So it took this long really to get to him. Yeah.
I know he's a pretty hot commodity. He's pretty heavy in the LA scene.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, very much so.
And of course you got this guy over here on keyboards, Steve Weingart.
Oh, yep.
You got stuck with me.
They spelled
I was the last guy,
They spelled your name wrong here at the Jazz Kitchen.
No D's in my name. No D in your Not name. In the first part or in the last part. It's no D's.
Well, tell me how you guys connected. I know you guys have been together for quite a while.
Yeah, we've done a few things over the years. We actually first met at the Frankfurt Messe, Frankfurt Trade Show, and I think you were playing with Weckl.
was. Yeah.
And I think I came saw one of their sets, and then but I think we actually met backstage at the big dome, the big hall there, when I was about to play. Bernard Purdy was on, and Treelock was setting up, and I was about to play. And you just came up and introduced yourself, as far as I remember.
It was, you were in the audience when I was playing with Dave.
Yeah.
And I just remember I was kind of, looking across the stage this way. All the audience was to my left. And I looked over and I saw you, and I just thought, man, I got to start playing good right now. Please, whatever.
Not that he wasn't playing good before, but So, and he came, said hello, and seemed like a nice chap to me,
Yeah.
And it was actually very. I played. It was unaccompanied. And it was very complimentary. It was like, wow, okay, that's interesting. Yeah. He noticed. You kind of pick up vibes from people, and then I think the next time, the first time we played was with Bonnie, right, in Cab.
Right, with Cab, Baked Potato.
So it was Bonnie Brunel on bass. He asked me to play, and Steve came over to my studio, and we rehearsed, I kind of knew his playing. Anyway, I knew he was shit hot, and I was kind of, this is going to be fun, And it was instant, wasn't it? I mean, that gig, I remember the Potato, we had so much fun. It was just instant. And that's what happens when you have a chemistry with a certain musician. Yeah. It just works. So we did a couple of things, and then I think I did one of your gigs. Remember?
Yeah, we did a bunch of different miscellaneous things. We did a double thing where we played your music and my music and some standards. And then I also did, I think the one that you're talking about, the Ernest tour, the one that he couldn't make, is the one that I did with you. Yes, and that was a Japan tour.
Well, with I asked you to play in the band, yeah.
Right. And Everett.
Everett, yeah.
Everett Harp was playing horn, and Andy. And I think that's when we had Del Atkins. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm.
2007? 2008.
Yeah.
And then I think that the next thing was Steve wanted to do a solo album, and he came to Phantom to do it. Yeah. And asked me to record it, so we recorded it. But I kind of ended up co-producing it. Really, I think it was. Just
it was that actually both of the projects that I did over there just kind of rolled out. They just kind of evolved as we went. I remember that initially we were going to do like a multiple thing. We were going to have this guy and that guy and this instrument and that instrument, and then it just started getting narrower and more narrow. And you ended up just doing the whole thing, which was really good for it, for the album and for both albums actually. Yeah. So, and it was great. I mean, Steve's a wonderful writer, wonderful composer, and it was a really fun project. It just kind of worked. And so when it came to putting this project together, Steve was my first choice.
Very good. Hey, you were talking about your studio Phantom, and I think when we interviewed you a couple of years ago, and I think I had done some research, and that wasn't that Sheila E.'s studio?
It was originally, but
originally her studio.
Yeah, well, not originally. Before me, Sheila leased the studio for a while, and then before her, there was a film writer called Mike Ting, and then before that, it was actually turned into a studio. And funny enough, at the NAMM show, I met the guy that built the studio. South African, yeah. It was Hilton Rosenthal was a South African producer who produced an artist called Johnny Clegg, you might have heard of. And he left Johannesburg to come to Los Angeles so he could produce black artists because of apartheid. In South Africa. So he came over with this other guy, Bobby Summerfield, who I met at the NAMM show, and we started chatting. Somebody introduced me. He said, "Yeah, I built your studio." I went, "Are you serious?" And we started talking about Stan, the owner, and where it all started. And so, it's been a studio since the late '80s, and a lot of people have recorded in there. People turn up to do a session. They go, "I remember this place." Wow. I've had maintenance guys come in and go, "Oh, I used to do maintenance here," shit like that. Yeah. That's cool. So it's kind of a really vibey place. It's lovely with a bit of history there.
Well, go ahead.
I was just going to add to that. one of the best things about the sessions that, the solo albums that I did, with Renee and Simon and I, one of the best things about that is that I've done lots of work in the past where you go to this place or that place or the other. I don't need to mention any names, but when we went to Simon's studio, it was just like being at home. It's just like everything was really comfortable. If you wanted to kick your shoes off, you could. And, it's just very, very low key, very easy. It's just a real homey vibe. And I think that actually comes out in the recordings. I think the relaxed feel of everything is.
That's very cool.
Private. Once somebody rents a studio, it's basically theirs, and it's so it's a nice environment. Yeah.
Well, another hot topic, obviously, is Toto, and we've gotten a lot of people. I don't know how much information is out there from your end in terms of, you're leaving the band to pursue your own interests, but I think the main thing people want to know did you leave on good terms?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's I've been with that band for 21 years. Yeah. It's a long time. And all bands go through changes, and Toto has suffered its changes too. Sometimes not, by surprise. Things happen. So any band that's been that long is going to go through things, ups and downs. Let's put it like that. It just felt to me like I really just wanted to have a change. I think that's what it was. And we've got a new management, and we changed management only 2 years ago. And things about a band, a lot of it is about running the band, about the business of it, not the music. And I just felt, I think we're kind of we've got different ideas of how things should be done. And I just think it was time to call it, really. And because I wanted to just keep on good terms, And actually, this often happens. Once you leave a band, you suddenly become friends with everybody. It's just the weird way it is. So I wish them all the best. I know they're doing a new record right now. Going to go to Japan at the end of this month, and they're going to do some U.S. dates. And I wish them all the best. And we're talking. Luke actually came to our gigs in L.A. So no, it's good. It's healthy. And I think 21 years it's a long time.
Well, Luke wanted me to tell you hi. I just talked to him yesterday.
Oh, great. Cool. Fantastic. Good.
Hey, after this tour is up tonight, I guess, what are your plans for 2014? What else? What's next for you in terms of the pursuit that you're...
I'm flying to Poland tomorrow to start off with Hiromi.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we start in Wrocław. That's what it's called, Wrocław. Somebody told me that. It looks like Wrocław, but it's pronounced Wrocław. I literally leave tomorrow, fly to Washington, then take an overnight to Munich, and then a connection to Wrocław. Meet up with Anthony, Jackson, and Hiromi, and we play the next night.
Awesome. How long of a tour is that? Is it pretty extensive?
No, it's a short run, but an exciting run. Yeah. Poland, London for 3 nights, Turkey, Stuttgart, Moscow.
And tonight you're in Indianapolis.
And we're in exactly.
All those exotic places.
Didn't get much sleep last night for some reason. A little bit of jet lag or whatever from West Coast. I don't know why. So a little bit tired. But sleep on the plane, Yeah.
And then over to you, Steve. You've been pretty busy. We talked to you a couple of years ago, I think, and since then you've released a couple of albums. It's been a while since we've spoken, and I think you released, was it Dialogue in 2011, and I think about a year later you released Observatory, both with Renee, right?
Yeah, it came quick. I remember that it seemed like we had done it, and then I had been writing music, so it's just like the floodgates kind of opened up. And I said, well, I guess it's time to do this again. And we did it again. So I didn't really time it out or consider it. It just
happened. It
just happened, yeah.
You know what I've been curious about, obviously you were telling me before we started the interview that you and Renee have been together since high school, I guess, right?
Yeah, we started seeing each other after I left high school. I was in my first year of my short stay at college at the university. And we started to see each other seriously, I think it was December of 1984. and we've just been going ever since.
Well, she's a pretty awesome bassist, correct?
I think so. Yeah.
Well, I was just curious about the dynamic. You know, obviously you two have been together for a long time. You've got a great chemistry together in terms of your relationship. But
Right.
tell me about the dynamics of the relationship when it comes to making music together. Tell me about the challenges, or or maybe the the roadblocks that you might stumble across when you're working with somebody that you're so close to.
It's a funny thing. We really don't have any roadblocks like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, there were a couple of songs that she did, if not the entire composing process. If she wrote, a couple of the songs completely, and I just kind of did what I do on her tune, and it just kind of fell out that way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just such an easy process. I'm trying to think of a hard thing to, something that we encountered that was like a roadblock, and I just can't think of anything.
No, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, in most cases now, she has a day gig, and during those times she would be working during the day at the office, and then I'd be working on her music, like doing, an arrangement, or like adding, hits, or adding a section to it, or something. I don't know. It was just kind of like living with the music, and it developed. And she would come home and say, "Oh, wow, that's really cool," and then that would be it. That's what the song turned into. There was no ever any, definitely no hurt feelings or confrontations, or I don't know how we got so lucky. To be honest with you, I just don't know how it. We I was saying, we were in Chicago last night, and Simon was doing a drum clinic. I stayed at the room, and we just talked on the phone for a straight hour. I mean, it was just about nothing in particular. Yeah. And I said, man, you know what? I looked at the phone, and I said, we've been talking for an hour again. And she said, yeah, it's like, we're 16 again. It's like nothing ever, just really, if there's anything that I did right, was catching her. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, it sounds like it. It sounds like a great relationship.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, are you guys planning on making any more music together in the near future?
We definitely want to. At the moment, my focus is with this band. Yeah. We're talking about doing some things, some future recordings with this band, and I'd like to, work in that direction with these guys. This is a really fun band. I'm sure, once you see it tonight, At the moment, I'm just kind of, I'm really driven right now, personally driven to develop my my skills and my abilities on the piano. Okay. I don't know why that is, but for some reason I'm driven to the acoustic piano. I've gotten my classical studies back out, and just working on that stuff. So that's what's going on right now. I don't force writing. If that happens, it happens.
We mentioned Steve Lukather a second ago, and you've obviously had a relationship with him, and you played on his last couple projects and toured. Do you envision getting back to? He's so busy right now with Toto and Ringo and all the stuff he's doing. Yeah. But has he talked to you, or do you envision going back out with him at some point?
I don't know what his plans are. Yeah. To be perfectly honest about it. I mean, we all talk. Mm-hmm. I'm always seeing things that he's put stuff on Twitter, or he posts something on my Facebook wall, or we're texting back and forth. And like Simon mentioned, he came to a Protocol show, our first night at Catalina's, and he just kind of surprised us. It was great. And who knows what the future brings.
Well, we'll definitely stay in contact with both of you, and we'll keep our fans posted. And thanks so much for hanging out with us.
Thank you very much.
And thanks to the Jazz Kitchen here in Indianapolis, and take care, everybody.